The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again while expecting different results. I've said for a while now that the great coaches, they put together optimal game plans, not just solely based on their own personal philosophies, but a combo of that with the personnel that they have. That gives you the best chance to win, which is what pro sports is all about. That's just one example of adaptability. You look at the Mike Zimmer-led Minnesota Vikings back in 2019, where they had the fourth most rushing attempts, but the third fewest pass attempts. Compare that to 2020, is basically on par, the eighth most rushing attempts with the fourth fewest pass attempts. In other words, run, run, pass. Defense, defense, defense. Run, run, pass. Defense, defense, defense. It's a very old school, old way of thinking, and quite honestly, making it more difficult for you style of offense. Well, we have Dalvin Cook, best running back in the game. Yes, at the same time, these last two seasons, we've also had the best wide receiving duo in the game. Last year, it was Adam Thielen and Stefon Diggs. This year, it's Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Combine that with Dalvin Cook, you could have the most explosive offense in the NFL. With balance, of course. I'm not saying focus everything on the passing game. We saw that in 2018 with very little running, which is also counterproductive. It needs to be balanced. What I'm saying is to completely focus all your energy on one side of the offense while completely ignoring the other is malpractice. Well, we don't have the pass protecting offensive line. Don't talk to me about the offensive line. Last year when we had shaky cornerback play, the Minnesota Vikings immediately had no problem going all in on corners. This past draft, you drafted 3 cornerbacks. But year after year after year on the offensive line, particularly at guard, you go half-ass, you experiment, you don't invest any of that same energy that you do with corners on the offensive line. Even in-house, you have had Brett Jones forever. Brett Jones has been better than Pat Elflein. He's been better than Drew Samia. He's better than Dakota Dozier right now. Ezra Cleveland is an offensive tackle. We saw what happened to him playing right guard against Tampa this last Sunday. If the Vikings just let go of this old school style of football and really hone in on utilizing their talents on offense, having a balanced offensive attack, then you're going to give yourselves, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, a better chance to win. At the same time, you're not going to piss your players off. Stefon Diggs, for all the labels that we can give him, diva, drama queen, he was right in wanting to leave because, all y'all wanted to do was run the football. What happens? He gets traded to Buffalo. In fact, let's look at what the Buffalo Bills have done these past 2 seasons, pre and post Diggs. In 2019, before Stefon Diggs got there, they had the 8th fewest pass attempts and the 6th most rushing attempts. Now, in 2020, once they got Stefon Diggs, they could have easily said, we're going to do the same shit we did last year. But they said, that's dumb. We have one of the best receivers in the league. You look at them now in 2020, they have the 12th most pass attempts and the 21st in rushing attempts. Last year in 2019, they were 23rd in scoring with a 10-6 record. So far, they've jumped up 14 spots this 2020 season up to 9th in scoring with a 10-3 record. They've already matched their win total from last year with 3 games left to go. That's adapting. This merry-go-round that we're doing with the Vikings isn't going to get us anywhere because when you're so hell-bent on the run game, when we face teams that can actually stop the run, like in the playoffs against the Niners in the divisional round, then when you have to say, oh fuck, we have to now rely on the passing game to bail us out, all of a sudden we look like fools because we haven't been doing this all season long. So if the goal is to make the playoffs every other year and maybe win a playoff game and hand out participation trophies, then just keep doing what you've been doing. But if you're legit trying to compete and give yourself the best chance to win, then the Minnesota Vikings, they have to look themselves in the mirror and make some changes. Last Sunday against Tampa, Adam Thielen, he had 4 targets. Justin Jefferson had 8. Players of that caliber should see at least 10 targets a game. Now, if you're Bill Belichick, where your players, they're going to have to sacrifice individually speaking stat-wise, but you consistently win, then so be it. But if you've been consistently inconsistent and consistently get clocked in big games and your star players are sacrificing, you're going to piss them off. That's just my 2 cents. Oh, we have the best running back in the league. That's great. Don't just rely on him. We're 6-7 right now. Are we going to celebrate that shit? Come on, man. We do this 3 times a week. Mediocre at Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy. Facebook at Realistic Randy. Next podcast, Vikings versus Bears preview. That will be tomorrow. We'll see you then.